Maybe someday Asians all over America will figure out they are the targets of violence, robbery, assault, taunting, harassment, and murder at the hands of the fellas and their lovely ladies. We've documented that here hundreds of times. Maybe that will happen someday. They'll wake up, they'll speak out. Not today.
We begin tonight with an extraordinary interview with an African-American ex-con who admits he targeted Asians. That comes as the Asian community is reacting to a series of attacks that have stoked racial tension. But as our Mike Sugarman found out, these crimes may go beyond race.
We seen them. We decided to just go out and get them, you know. We needed some money for another night at the hotel.
But they were Asian.
They were Asian, once again.
21-year-old Amanzi Emenike talks about robbing Asians like it was no big deal. During his teen years, it wasn't.
We got busted for a hate crime due to the fact of when they linked us to the other robberies that, you know, eventually caught up to us, they were about 75 to 80% Asian.
Anybody need a reminder of some of these cases nationwide where the fellas and lovely ladies are targeting Asians for violence, robbery, murder? Well, why don't we do a little magical mystery tour here, starting in Philadelphia. Police arrest man in string of robberies targeting Asian-owned businesses. Why don't we head out to San Francisco? Headline, dirty secret of black on Asian violence is out. Cops say during one stretch of time in San Francisco, 75-80% of the street robberies were black on Asian. The reporters all said, wow, that's a surprise to us. They went and talked to the Asian people and they said, no, that's no surprise to us. We know what's happening, even though we don't really say anything about it. Let's head on out to Sacramento for more of the same.
A woman is robbed at gunpoint in front of her home, and she is not the first one.
He pressed a couple times, hit her. She hit her.
This is the latest in a rash of robberies targeting Asians in South Sacramento.
Again, here they caught some of the fellas operating not just out of Atlanta, but from Atlanta to Florida and back and forth and back and forth. Lots and lots of these stories out of New York City. This is a story about the fellas targeting Asian women. Portland, Oregon. Serial robbers targeting Asian women in southeast Portland. Go back to New York City. Story about the fellas targeting the Chinese drivers, delivery drivers at Asian restaurants. Down to Houston, lots and lots of stories out of Houston. Here's just one. Man arrested in 13 robbery burglary cases targeting Houston area Asian community. Back to Philly. Asian businesses again targets of armed robbery in northeast Philadelphia. Back to Atlanta. Here's a little video out of Atlanta. Fellas targeting Asian business owners, not just in their businesses, but in their homes when they follow them there. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We've done many, many, many of these stories. And now we're going to do one more.
11 men are facing charges for targeting Middle Eastern and Asian business owners.
As CBS 17's Amy Cutler reports live tonight, the men are facing federal charges and are accused of following the business owners to their homes and then robbing them. Amy.
Yeah, Maria, some pretty serious charges that are laid out in this indictment. One of those targeted the owner of this tobacco shop just behind us. Tonight, there is some relief for him and the others.
I thought they killed me on that night.
The owner of a Hillsborough nail salon is still so shaken up by what happened to him, he asked that we not show his face or give his name. Court documents show these 11 suspects targeted Middle Eastern and Asian-owned business owners. They say the suspects would find out where those business owners live, then attack and rob them at home.
They just beat me and asked me the money.
It happened back in January 2016. He says two of the suspects came into his nail salon for pedicures. When they were going to pay, he tells me he saw one reach for a gun. It was crowded. He believes that stopped them. The next day, they came back. He says they waited in the parking lot, then followed him back to his home.
I doesn't give them the money. They keep beat me up.
He says the suspects stayed in his home for 45 minutes. They also attacked his wife. According to the indictment, 6 business owners were robbed at gunpoint, all in the span of 3.5 months, from late 2015 to early 2016. Prosecutors say these 11 suspects systematically terrorized and preyed upon minority business owners and their families.
I'm very happy they in there. And I think all the people, everybody.
Now, these 11 suspects are facing a host of charges. If convicted on the most serious count, they could face up to 20 years behind bars.
So how many of these do you need to see before somebody starts connecting the dots, before somebody says, hey, why are the fellas and lovely ladies targeting the Asians for robbery, assault, and murder, harassment? Oh yeah, don't forget the harassment.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
Please, sir, I want some more.
A lot of people would like to forget it. A lot of Asians would like to forget it. It's so terrible they think it just can never happen again. That's how bad it was. But they also know, because some of them are new to this country, because some of them don't speak English very well, they don't say that much about it. But they also know if they speak up and they talk about the patterns of violence, they know that's going to make a lot of black kids angry.